What's up, friends? Welcome to another episode of That's Crazy. My name's Omid.
And my name is Stella.
And how y'all doing today? I feel like I wish I could speak to you.
I know. It's like in Dora the Explorer when it's like, how are you feeling?
No response.
Good. Did you say great?
Well, we're great.
Yeah, well, we're
great. Yeah, it's been a great week for me. How have you been?
Fabulous, darling.
Fabulous. Darling. We've been well rested, I want to say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to the best of our ability.
Yeah. And we're here to just chat it up about something that's near and dear in my heart.
Let's go.
Sexuality.
Sexuality.
So, to a shock, it's so funny. I was actually out last night and I was in a group of friends with you being there. Actually, I don't even think you actually know that this happened.
Okay.
Someone came up to me and this conversation of like guys, like the dynamic of like a gay guy and a straight guy came up and they're like, oh my God, that's like you and one of your friends. And then I talked to the straight guy. He's like, wait, you're gay? And I'm like yeah. Like, did you not know that I was gay?
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting because as a gay guy, at times I'm constantly coming out.
Interesting.
And even though I came out years ago, every day, not every day, I'm exaggerating, but a lot of the times,
When you meet someone new.
It's like a coming out process.
Interesting.
So today, we're getting into sexuality.
I'm stoked to hear about that, actually, because that is so true. Like, we used to go out all the time, and everyone thought we were dating, like, because we were never really outwardly being like, no, we're not dating, like, we're just friends.
Of course.
So we had this kind of, like, dynamic where people thought that we were boyfriend, girlfriend. Yeah. And so often when we'd go out, people were so, like, shocked to find out that you were gay because they just thought that we were dating. Yeah. But it's interesting to think about the aspect of like constantly having to like tell someone like, no, I'm gay. How is that conversation for you?
Okay, I'm gonna break this down because it's something that it's very complex. As a gay guy, it's very complex. So to give you a little bit of backstory, I came out when I was a sophomore in high school. It was something that I knew was a part of me, but never really, discovered. And, as a Persian guy, as an Iranian guy, there was no one that was gay in my family. Literally nobody. So it was it was a very fearful thing. I was scared of what my parents would say. I went to therapy, and that was around the time where I was very hyper focused on how my appearance was. When I was in high school, I was like constantly striving to lose weight. So like that was like a constant thing. So it was, it was a lot of suppression of like my true personality. Throughout my life, I feel like I've had to kind of tone that down according to the person that I'm around.
Right.
So I'll talk. It's the fun. People, my friends, like they make fun of you, but like it's not. I don't take it like personally. They like think that I have like this straight voice.
You do.
And it's this like the kind of voice that I put on. If I'm calling like T-Mobile or like Spectrum Internet, like that voice is on because I'm trying to get that damn deal. But it's so fucked up. Like we're getting into this today because it's like such a complex thing that I feel like I personally shouldn't be going through. No one should be going through this because you should be 100% yourself.
Right.
But it's something that society in a way has kind of made it seem like you have to have this certain style of voice and persona in order to be accepted by everybody.
Totally. I mean, it's an interesting thing because I definitely have seen you put on this voice. Like your voice gets significantly lower and you pick and choose the times that you do it.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because, like, how there's, I don't know if you've seen this meme, but if there's this like meme where someone's like, oh my God, I love your personality. And the person's like, thanks, it's because it's yours.
Oh.
It's like we can so easily mimic who we're around.
Yes.
And I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's with a man or a woman, what their sexual orientation is. Like, I am totally a part of the the community that like accidentally mimics people's personalities. And it's interesting because I do think it comes from a place of, kind of wanting to be accepted, but also just wanting to really connect with someone.
Yeah.
I think that's always like the driving force for us. Like we love to connect to people.
We do.
And so you almost mimic their personality and their vibe. And it is interesting because when you are around straight men, you do kind of put on, a little bit more of like a
masculine.
And like you are a very masculine person. I think we all fluctuate in the masculine and feminine energies.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the best way to go about things is constantly to fluctuate. But you are very masculine, just as a whole.
Yeah.
But it is funny because you do put on this like persona almost when you are meeting people, and I do the same. So it's not just
it's not just
you. I definitely
me.
do the same. But it is interesting. Have you ever felt like when you're talking to people, like, and if they don't know that you're gay, if they're gay, they're like completely different towards you? Like if they find out that you're gay and they are also gay, they're like, oh, like now I'm gonna go like shoot my shot. Or do you think that like it's always kind of just like subjective to who you meet?
Damn, this is so complex, and I love that we're breaking this down. So when I'm out at the club, a part of me, and I'm being 100% transparent, feels like I have to. There's in the gay community. There's a spectrum. And it's just how it is. And either you're, there's the level to how you put yourself out there that's just who you are and not something that you chose. In myself, feel like I'm more of the more masculine type of gay. Yeah. So when I go to the club and I kind of know that there's a gay guy out there, I'll just continue to be that masculine energy.
Right.
Because I know that a lot of gay guys like that masculine energy. A lot of gay guys like the guys that are straight. They like a lot of gay guys go for guys that are straight, like as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, there is something that is very exciting about someone that's unattainable.
Exactly.
I have definitely fallen in love with my fair share of gay boys, and it hurts me every fucking time because I'm always like, oh, but you're so perfect and you're so beautiful and I'm obsessed with you. But they're like, thanks, honey, but I don't fucking like you like that. And you're like, wait, what? It's so sad, but it is true. There's that part where it's like, it's almost a challenge.
Yeah, and given that all of my guy friends are straight, I bounce off their energy.
For sure.
And I would love, and I don't want to get sappy here, but like I've dreamt of having that sort of gay community.
Yeah.
And I do. I have a small, cute little group chat of my gay friends that I really appreciate, and I love it whenever they invite me out there.
What's the name of the group chat?
It's literally like gays only. It's
That's
like literally
cute.
like it's like the cancel mark and like gays only. So it's like we just send each other the funniest stuff of just
cute.
Everything gay culture. And that is really my only outlet because I grew up in an area where there weren't that many gay guys. It was in a friend group, there wasn't that many. I was really the only outwardly gay person, and I never had that sense of community that a lot of people my age currently have. Living in LA, going out to West Hollywood and all that stuff was never really in my life because I was just never. Maybe it's because I just was so sheltered in where I've lived my whole life, but I've never really had a gay sense of community around me. Yeah. And it's not saying that I don't want that. I would love that, but I just haven't had that. So I really have been surrounded by my straight guys, my straights.
The straights.
And I don't think they've necessarily rubbed on me too much, but the fact that, I'm taking that back. They have, in a way, kind of rubbed on me because that's just how my personality is. When you're surrounded by straight guys, I'm sorry, you're taking up after their mannerisms and what they're like. And I try every day to just 100% be myself because they should just love you. We're in fucking 2022. Like, if you're not going to like me because I'm gay, like, come on.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it's like very telling of a person
Yeah.
if you want to be friends with them or not, because if they aren't accepting of that, then it's like better to know that in the beginning.
True. That's true. Like last night, if I was like 100% myself and not putting on my like straight, 100% straight act.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like if he wanted to walk away, he could have.
Yeah, totally. And I can imagine that, like, though you want to believe, like, okay, we're in 2022, like, we want equality, we want, like, everyone to have rights and everything to be equal. It is hard because you never really know what you're going to walk into.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine how terrifying that would be if you actually were to, like, be in a conversation with someone and then you disclose that you're gay and then they're like, oh, it's a hard out. Like, that would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There have been multiple situations where I've been in a conversation with someone and they've said something that I don't like, and immediately I'm like, yikes, I'm going to just leave because I don't like where this is going. I don't share your thoughts or your views on things. But I have a lot of sympathy for that because I could only imagine how fucking difficult it is to constantly feel like you have to put a mask on.
Yeah.
That's exhausting. And it's a weight that no one should have to bear, but it's so easy to be like, well, just be yourself because you want to be accepted. You want to be loved.
Yeah.
But you also never really know if someone's going to be accepting and loving of you. And that's a really difficult thing.
Totally. And yeah, it's a constant kind of battle within myself, just feeling like you said it exactly. Like, you shouldn't feel like you have to necessarily change yourself for anybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's interesting because there's when I'm looking for a guy, it's like I just want to be the number one thing is like from the second that I meet them, I want to 100% make sure I'm talking the way that I want to talk.
Right.
Acting the way that I want to act.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not worth it at that point.
It's not worth it at that point.
Have you ever had a situation where you were like vibing with someone and then they find out that you're gay and then they get like kind of weird about it? Because I've had friends of mine like kind of almost read into a situation wrong where they think like, oh, this person's gay, like we're vibing, like we're flirting, and then all of a sudden that person will be like, oh yeah, like they'll ask maybe like, oh, so do you have a girlfriend? They're like, well, actually I'm gay, like, but no, I don't have a boyfriend. And then all of a sudden the vibes just completely shift. And I think it's so funny because like so often I think that straight men, when they find out that like someone's gay, if they're not really comfortable in their sexuality, they're like, well, like, oh,
no, it's like, oh, well, I accept that, bro. Like, I accept that, bro.
Yeah,
It's like,
oh, try to make it like a thing.
I'm all
like,
about that, bro.
Yeah, and it's like just because you're gay and you're talking to someone of the same sex does not mean you automatically like them.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so annoying. I'm like, I feel like that's such a fucking thing where it's like if you're talking to someone and it's like the same sex, but like, if someone's gay or whatever, and then they're like, oh, well, like, they're gonna they have a crush on me. I'm like, how old are you?
This is the thing. And I'm telling this to all those straight guys listening or anybody else. Like, just because you have someone gay in your life does not mean they're gonna go and like try anything weird with you.
No.
Like, I genuinely only, and I'm trying to change this, only have straight guys in my life.
Right.
Never have I once ever push that boundary of being any sort of sexual or uncomfortable, because that makes me uncomfortable to think that they would be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
I go to the bathroom when I grew up. I'd go to the elementary school bathrooms, and honestly today, and I at times get uncomfortable because I think that this guy thinks that I'm staring at his like wiener while I'm peeing. So it's like, that in itself is just telling that like when you are gay, you're thinking about so many things as to not wanting to feel like judged and like I don't want people to think that I'm just gonna get with them because I'm gay, because that's not how it is. It's like frustrating because I want to go to the bathroom and literally pee in peace and not think that I'm thinking that the other guy thinks that I'm staring at them, but that's just like how it was like growing up, where you constantly felt like you didn't want anyone knowing that you were gay, so you would do everything in your possible power to not be gay.
For sure. Are there things that you've learned now that like you wish that you could tell yourself when you were like first kind of publicly coming out that would have helped the process of like maneuvering through like the boundaries of what you think you should and shouldn't do like as a gay man?
Yes. And that would have been to explore my sexuality more and to date and to branch off and really find a sense of community within people that resonate with me. So it's like, because as soon as I came out, it was the same people, and I never really linked up with people that were gay. So it's like, how am I supposed to navigate I've been so suppressed of dating people my entire life. It's like, how am I supposed to do that when there's no one that is gay around me?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think the number one thing, and I'm blessed to even have the group that I have now, is to just really find people that are of the similar like sexuality as you, and go out with them and really explore, because that's the only way you're gonna figure out what you want and go. You know, you've already been so suppressed of like dating of the same gender your whole life. When are you gonna do it? Like, I'm at this age right now, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I went through meeting all the different types of guys. You know, I went gay clubbing when I was 18, but like, what is that really bringing me? So it's just really like immersing yourself in just being 100% gay.
Yeah, and having the community of people to be like-minded and like kind of bounce off these things,
and like go out with them.
Baggage.
Exactly. Yeah, and like being able to go out with your gay friends is like so fun. Like, you know, and there is a world where you can have gay friends and none of them are hooking up with each other, because that's exactly how my group is. Just because we're all gay does not mean any of us are hooking up with each other.
Well, that's like my friend group too. Like a lot of my friends are guys, and it's like I have absolutely no desire to hook up with any of them.
Exactly.
Even if I were single, like I don't have that desire, because men and women and two gay guys and two gay women, like everyone can literally coexist, and it doesn't have to be a sexual thing. And I think it's just like this stigma of like, well, you know, if that's what the person likes, then they're immediately gonna like you. And it's like, it's not the fucking truth. You're not that special, honey.
Yeah, honey.
You're not that special, sweetie. It makes me angry too. Have you ever had a moment, like, have you always known that you've been like fully all in for guys, or have you had moments where you've thought about like, maybe I like girls as well, and explored that?
Well, when I was in elementary school, I thought I liked girls. That was for sure. I know that I'm fully into guys.
Yeah.
I think emotionally, obviously girlfriends are like my heart is with my girls.
Yeah, absolutely. But just not sexually.
But not sexually.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
Fully, I like men. But what about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you've thought that you might be interested in the opposite gender?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always kind of classified my sexuality as like, I just love souls and people, not genders. So I, you know, have gone on dates with women before. You know, I've definitely been open to dating women. The biggest thing for me, like, that I realized, and now, like, being engaged and, you know, being very happy, there are moments in my life where I'm like, if I could have given anyone, like, advice, I think, like, to try things out and to experiment is the best thing that you can do, because it does teach you what you like and what you don't like. And I definitely had a moment in time where I was kind of like, I don't want to say experimenting, but I was kind of like going on dates with women and kind of feeling out that vibe, because I was always kind of just dating men. And those moments were so nice because I felt like I could connect with these women in like such a beautiful way. And I still find a lot of attraction towards women. Like, I fucking love women, but I also love men. And so for me, like, I've never been like, I have this like hard time classifying myself as like bisexual, because I never want to, like, you know, I hear about these stories like yours, where it takes so much to even get to the place where you can announce that to the world.
For sure.
You know, there's so much that goes along with it. And I never want to feel like I'm kind of almost like, how do I put this? Like, just jumping on the bandwagon being like, I'm bisexual, because I feel like it feels like almost a disservice to just so casually say it when so many people I know personally have struggled with that so much.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I never want to be like, I don't know. I always have this thing. I don't want to be a part of the problem. And so I don't want to just jump in and just be like, yeah, I like women too. When it's like, it takes women and men
years,
so long of emotional baggage, of wanting their family's acceptance, of wanting their friends' acceptance. The small things that even I don't have to think about, of going to the bathroom and having this like thing in the back of my mind, like, oh, is this person going to think I'm looking at their private parts?
Yeah.
Like, I've never had to deal with that, and it comes from a place of privilege. So I don't want to be a privileged person being like, I'm bisexual. Yeah. But I do, love both genders. I just love people. I just fucking love people. And I feel like I've been very in touch with my sexuality from a very young age. I think that it's this weird thing, because I remember being really young, like 14, 15. And people were always saying like, oh yeah, like me and Stella, like we've hooked up. Like we've hooked up. And at that point, I hadn't even had my first kiss yet.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? But because I was so... And like, to be like comfortable with your sexuality doesn't mean that you're being sexual. It just means that you know who you are, you know what you like, and you kind of just vibe with that. I think it's like your presence, it's your aura essentially. And I've always been very comfortable with that. So people would just make up these absurd lies about having hooked up with me before I even had my first kiss, before I'd even done anything with any gender,
That's
anyone.
Whack. That's crazy.
And it was so fucked up. And so it's one of those things that, like, I feel very happy that I had, the moments in my life where I got to, kind of dabble in whatever felt good for me. It just so happened that I fell in love with a man. And there's that. But, it is hard, because you want to believe that we're in this time where it's like everyone's accepting, everyone's trying to be, better, so we can, especially, like, just make people feel comfortable, make people not feel excluded. But there's so much that goes along the process of what's socially acceptable, and getting to these places where it's like, having communal bathrooms. I'm so happy. Like,
that's
I literally,
a thing. Yeah.
When we went to the place the other night.
Yes.
They had a communal bathroom.
It was a shared bathroom.
It was stalls and then just sinks and like in the outside. And I was like, this is so nice, because I feel like it doesn't have to be this, like, I don't know. It's hard. Like, I think it's like I just want to live in a world where everyone can fucking feel comfortable and feel loved and not feel secluded or feel like they need to be something that they're not. And obviously that's like wishful thinking. But like, for me, like, I want to be a part of, the generation that helps make that be a possibility.
And I think more recently, and I'm not trying to generalize things, but from what I've realized, just from the people that I've met, is like, I love the direction that as a collective we're going, because I think a lot of people are down to explore their sexuality these days.
Absolutely.
More than ever. Like, I went to San Diego, love San Diego.
Big fan
of San Diego. And I was talking to this really cute, tall, fucking like hot guy that I thought was straight, talking. And next thing you know, he's telling me, yeah, I've hooked up with dudes before. Yeah. I've done that before. I've explored that. And that makes me feel a lot better, because I feel like I've been so sheltered in the fact that that isn't a possibility these days, where someone can't be both.
Right, totally.
But I think a lot of times now people are like, why not? Why not just explore it? And it makes me feel a little bit better. I mean, it is hard, because you don't know when I'm out. I don't know it's hard. I think I have a pretty good gaydar, but it's like, you never really know. You never really know if someone's gay or not. So it's like...
And you don't want to assume. There have definitely been times where, like, I feel like I've been with some of my friends and maybe they've asked me like information, being like, is your friend like gay or straight? And I don't think that I don't think it has to be like a thing. I think it's just like trying to figure out like what someone's like sexual orientation is so they can decide whether or not they want to move forward or if that's like something that they'd be into.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just like, it's so much easier to just ask. And I've even had moments like where I've been with friends when we were much younger, and one of my like really dear friends who's also gay, he was kind of just talking to us and was, you know, kind of just being like, he was talking to one of my guy friends and he was like, you're so beautiful. You have such a beautiful face and you have such amazing like facial structures. And it was so cute because the guy that I was with was like, thank you. And then he literally went through this journey being like, wait, am I attracted to this guy? Like, because he like was the first guy that ever gave him that sort of like very honest, but also like, it wasn't even flirtatious. He was literally just saying to my friend, like, you have just a beautiful face. And that friend was literally like, oh shit, like, do I have a crush on this guy? Like, do I like him? Turns out, you know, like, he ended up just kind of being very fluid with his sexuality. And it's like, who knows if that was maybe a kind of like stepping stone for him to learn that that was something that he likes. Yeah. And so I'm like, I think that just being upfront and just asking is kind of nice, but also I don't want to like discredit the fact that it can be difficult for you to ask because you don't know what response you're going to get.
It's like the hardest thing. It's like you just don't. Like, yeah, I just have never done it. But even talking about it now, it's like, well, how else are you going to know?
That's the thing. I think that's the thing. And it's like you can have other people ask, but it's like you miss out on that opportunity
of doing
to
it
ask.
yourself.
Yeah.
Shit. I think I'm going to start asking guys if they're gay now.
I think so. And like, I think the thing is like, I don't think anyone, I mean, it's so easy to say, like, I don't think anyone should get offended. But like, also, if someone does get offended by asking, like you asking
that just shows the type of person they are.
Then that just shows that you don't want to be in the company of those people.
That is all I needed to hear.
It's literally a win-win.
Yeah.
Because it's like they either say, yes, I am. Then you're like, cool, dope, good to know. We can move forward with that. Like, however we choose. They say, no, I'm not gay. And then it's like, cool, good to know. Thanks for being honest and upfront. Or they fucking get sus and weird and you're like, peace out.
Bye.
Bye. Like, thanks for your time.
Wow.
It's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
I'm going to start asking y'all if you're gay then.
And also, yeah, literally, we're going to start asking
if you're all gay.
And also, like, if there are any straight men or straight people listening, like, don't be like weird if that question comes up. Because I firsthand have seen men get weird at that question. Yeah. And it's like, it's not a fucking crazy thing to ask.
I'm sorry, I ain't gonna go to the bathroom stall and start hooking up with you.
Yeah, literally.
I ain't gonna do that.
You're not that special, sweetie.
Sorry, you ain't that cute. Like, you ain't that special.
You ain't that special. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a thing.
No, yeah.
I think that's like what we gotta start working towards. Like,
yes, because that's like the whole stigma is like if you're with. I think people still think that if you're gay and a gay guy is talking to you that they're going to want to like immediately hook up with you. But I'm sorry. That's not what our intentions are right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter what age you are, like you can explore that. Absolutely. Literally, no matter what.
It's good to explore.
Just be true to yourself because you don't want to be stuck in a relationship where you're like, fuck, you know, do I want to explore this other gender? So, but even in that, just be transparent with yourself.
Yes. I think, like, you know, I think it's always better to be honest with yourself and honest with everyone around you because if you're not honest with everyone around you.
And if you're closed off with the idea.
Yes.
then you're never, yes.
You're going to be the one that suffers, and
Yeah.
you should never put yourself in a situation that suffers, you know? And it's hard because, like, I know that there's so many things that surround it.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy to be like, just do what feels good for you
Yeah.
and be honest and true to yourself. It's not
Yeah.
that easy.
No.
We are not claiming that it's that easy,
No.
but I think it's always best to put yourself first and know these are the things that are going to make me happy. How do I achieve this? And you know, the people that truly love you and that truly support you should always follow you. And if they don't, then that's where you can find a community that does, and you can choose your family.
I love that. I love that you just said that. It's true. It might be the scariest fucking thing to think that you can't be 100% yourself, but it is true. Like and there's at times, if it's not your family, which I hope to goodness it is your family.
Right.
So many people will be supportive of your ventures because they just want to see you happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can't be happy if your family's not happy for you, which could possibly be the situation that you're in, you have so many people around you that will be. And number one, yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because you'll live your truth. And you'll live every day knowing that you're happy and you're experimenting and you're experiencing anything that you've been wanting to. So just as a person that's literally come out, like, just always be yourself, and just know there will be someone to support you no matter what.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Makes me emotional. We're rooting for you.
We're rooting for you.
We're rooting for you, and we're rooting for you, and
all of us.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why not just find your true self in these times?
Life is way too short.
Life is way too short. Damn, we're getting deep on that. It's crazy.
I know. I
these
literally feel
days.
emotional.
Tips. So
I feel emotional.
no, I'm and just coming from a gay guy, like, you'll find a group of support if you do decide to explore whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Because
And we're here for you.
we're here for you, and we love you. We love you. Thank you for listening to us talk about sexuality today.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself, be free, have fun,
Yes, have fun.
and we'll see.
Follow your bliss.
Follow your bliss.
Follow your bliss. Follow your truth.
Follow your
We
truth,
love
and
you.
we love you, and we'll see you next week
Mwah.
on That's Crazy. Bye.